Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about Google Forms. Google Forms is a great way to do a mass survey out there for people, and I'm also going to show you how you can make a Google form into a Google quiz, which will grade it for you and actually give you the results of that your students will have. I use Google Forms and Google Quizzes all the time, even in the classroom, but for distance learning especially it's good because it will grade the work. So let's go ahead and get started. First you want to go to New. And when you go to New, you want to go to More. It shows you docs, sheets, and slides, but More is where you want to go. And Google Forms is the first one that pops up. So it's going to ask you to make a blank form or from a template, and I always just choose blank form. Now the first thing I do is I title the form here. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and do a ELA quiz. Okay, or let me make it something easier. History quiz. All right. If I click on untitled form right here, it's actually going to match the title. That's why I put the title here first. All right, history quiz. All right, little description. Please answer the following questions. All right, and this is a very user-friendly thing. This button right here is going to be for adding. Okay. So let me see if you can. Let's get this ready. That's to add. Okay, it's going to be adding different questions, images, things like that. Okay. The next button right here is going to be import questions. So you might want, you could use this to import questions from another form. I think that's about it. I haven't really used that button too much. I usually just make it on my own because I can copy and paste things. This is to add a title and description. So maybe if you're having a test that you're doing, you might want to add a title like this is section 1. You could say questions 1 through 5. Okay. That button's to delete. That's to duplicate if I want to make it the same thing. You might also want to duplicate a question. Okay. Sometimes I'll duplicate a question and change the actual question, but the answers might still be the same. This is to add an image. This is to add a video. And this is also to add different sections. See, section 1, section 2. That kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get to the questions because this isn't too important. Okay, you can duplicate a section, move a section, delete a section, or merge with the above as well. Okay, let's just get to the questions. You have different types of questions here: multiple choice, a paragraph, a short answer, checkboxes, drop down. I'm not too familiar with drop down. I usually only use multiple choice, checkboxes, and short answer. Now you also have these different types: linear, scale, multiple choice grid. I haven't used that too much as well, so I might, if you want to find other tutorials on that, that's fine, but I'm just going to show you the basics today. So multiple choice is what I usually use, but the first question you always want to ask, whether it's a form or a quiz, is, and you want to make it required, which is right here in the little checkbox, okay? You want to ask, what is your full name? And I usually give them an example, like first, last, because sometimes they'll give me their middle name, and have them write it in there, okay? Now, you can continue to ask questions, but in order to make this a quiz, you actually have to go up to settings. And if you look here on the right, it says quizzes, and you can click make this a quiz, and it will give you points, okay? And it's also going to ask, will it release the grade immediately after each submission, later after manual review? I let them look at it right away. And they can see their missed questions, correct answers, or point values. You can also uncheck that, okay, if you want. Maybe if you're going to do the quiz more than once. But I also go to general and I go to limit to 1 response. Because sometimes kids will take the quiz under a false name and then they're going to take it for real with their name. And you can't really tell the difference, at least to my knowledge. So I like to limit it to 1 response. Now, sometimes I don't do this, like for distance learning, I'll let them take it multiple times, but I do tell them also that I only grade the first one. That way, if there is any technical issues, they can still take it again, and it won't. They'll let me know, hey, Miss Browse, the computer crashed in the middle of it, and I'll say, okay, you know what, I won't limit it to 1 response. Then go ahead and take it a second time, and I'll grade that second one. But usually, limit to 1 response is a good thing. All right, and then when you get to questions, okay, say who is the first president And this is where you put your options. So, it could be Abraham Lincoln. Add an option. It won't show this unless you actually click it. Then it goes to option 2. Okay. Oops. And right now it would only show these two unless I click add an option, right? And George Washington. Now George Washington is obviously the answer. Don't forget to hit required. Otherwise they don't have to do this question. I like to make all the questions required unless it's like a bonus question or something. So make that required. Then go to answer key. And then you say how many points is this question. I'm just going to make it 1 point. Notice it tells you the total points of this quiz at the top right here. Okay, so we'll make it 1 point. And the right answer, the correct answer, is George Washington. Now, I believe with the multiple choice, if you make it multiple answers, I have had some issues with it where the kids only click, it only lets them click one. So if you want to do one with multiple answers, you can go to checkboxes and do that one. So let's do one with checkboxes. Which of the following were presidents of our country? So if I do checkboxes, Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and who's someone who was definitely not a president? Benedict Arnold. All right. So I go make it required. Go to answer key, and maybe I want this one to be worth 3 points. And these are going to be my answers. So that's how I do it if I want to have a multi-answered question. That's how I do it with checkboxes. If you do one with a short answer text, what or where is Mount Rushmore located? What state? You want to make sure that if you go to required answer key, it's going to ask you, you can add different answers, South Dakota, maybe capitalization doesn't count. Okay, but it will be like based on the spelling. And I haven't really played with this one too much. I've done it a couple times, and I have had a couple issues where the kids put it in and it didn't work out too well. So let me know if you have any issues with that one. But the main two that I use are multiple choice and checkboxes. So I actually don't like this question. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete it. So go here to trash, delete, and it's gone. Okay, and that's to duplicate once again. That button's to duplicate. Now let's say I'm done with my quiz. Okay, well you can also mess with the theme a little bit. Okay, custom theme, and you can choose an image of your own, but the formatting is kind of funky if you upload the image. So I'll choose an image from, instead of go to upload or photos, I'll choose one that they have. They have some pretty cool ones. So since this is a quiz about the United States of America, I'll just insert this drawing. Or illustration is what they call it. And then everything's kind of themed that way. You can completely customize it if you want, but I don't get too much into it because most of the time I'm just trying to do this quick on the fly. And now what we can do is go to responses. Now the cool thing about this is it will show you the responses in different charts, pie charts, bar graphs. But if you go to this button right here, create spreadsheet, it will actually create the spreadsheet for you. So what happens is when you go to the spreadsheet, and it'll open a new tab for you, it'll tell you the timestamp when they took the quiz, and then their score right here. And that's where the first question is, what is your full name? Because I have the score right next to the full name. If you don't have that as a question, you're not going to know who took the quiz. So make sure you do that. And boom, the score will come out like that. Yep, and that's it for that. It will also show you what they put for each question. Okay, right now I only have 2, so it will show you that. I don't know if it updates it when you add more questions. That's why I like to do it at the very end. But it does update in real time. So as soon as they take it, their name will pop up and it'll show all their stuff and their score and their timestamp. All right, so that's how you can look at their results. And to send it to them, I go here to send, and I usually just put a link on Google Class. You can email it, but I just go to link, and then I hit shorten URL, and it makes it short for me, and then I hit copy. Then I just go to my Google Class, I go to add link, paste it, please take this history quiz, and then I would post it. Now obviously I don't want to do that because that's not a real quiz for them to take. And that's how you make Google Forms and Google Quizzes. Hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. I tried to cover everything that I use. I haven't covered all of it, obviously, but this is just a basic overview of how to do it. Thank you for watching, and you have a good one.